JKK817, a follower on YouTube, asked if I would talk a little bit about the importance of human development versus spiritual development. From what he wrote, I got the impression that he felt that modern teachers of non-duality are somehow lacking in human compassion, that somehow the realization of non-duality made one insensitive to the needs of others. I will answer this question in accordance with the teachings of the Kadampa Masters as taught by the Lord Atisha de Bamkara. The short answer is, there is no spiritual development without human development. And likewise, there is no human development without spiritual development. And the reason is, that which enriches humanity are the selfless acts done only for the benefit of others, and that which makes us inhumane is our selfishness. To quote the noble Nagarjuna, if I and other worldly beings yearn for unsurpassed awakening, the root of this is the awakening mind, as stable as the king of mountains, a compassion that embraces all, and wisdom independent of duality. From this we can understand that the cause of unsurpassed awakening is resting in non-referential compassion, free of all elaborations. And so, if somebody claims to have realized non-duality without having given rise to compassion, then they are on a mistaken path of self-deception. At one time, a spiritual practitioner asked of Padampa Sanjay, "Is it possible for someone who has realized emptiness to commit wrong deeds?" Padampa Sanjay answered in return, "It is impossible for someone who has realized emptiness to commit a wrong deed, and that's because with the realization of emptiness naturally comes a realization of compassion." And so we have this cause for unsurpassed awakening, that is, ultimate bodhicitta. And the cause of ultimate bodhicitta is relative bodhicitta, or limitless love and compassion for all sentient beings. It is said that when bodhisattvas observe the suffering of sentient beings, it is likened to a mother without arms watching her child being carried away by a rushing stream. And so this feeling of compassion is intense and very personal. But this compassion is not limited to one's own family, or country, or kin. This is a limitless feeling of love and compassion for every sentient being. The sign of spiritual awakening is an increase in love for others. A love for others is the wish that others should experience well-being and happiness. In the Mahayana, then this is an ultimate feeling of love for all beings to experience ultimate happiness or liberation from samsara. And compassion is defined as a wish for others to be free from suffering, but not just mundane suffering or temporary unhappiness, but to be ultimately free from all suffering. Lord Atisha himself studied under many masters to come to realize the awakening mind. Principal of these was Lord Silingpa, with whom he stayed for 12 years. And amongst his teachers there was Maitri Yoga, who was actually able to take on the sufferings of others. And also Dharmarakshita, who is able to give away his own flesh to save the life of another, a stranger. And so by this you can see that a true spiritual practitioner, as they develop, will become more humane. And so, if in your spiritual development you lose your feeling or concern for others, then that is a sign that you are on a mistaken path of self-deception. And why is it that modern teachers of non-duality are on these paths of self-deception? And that is because the motivation from the outset is mistaken. In general, then most people practice for their own benefit and happiness. Their meditation is a form of tranquilization or sedative to insulate themselves from the mundane sufferings of worldly life. And in this way, they bury their heads in the sand and hide from worldly suffering. But this is not special in any way, because every creature is working for its own benefit and trying to avoid suffering and harm. The bodhisattva, however, will willingly be born time and time again in samsara to take on the sufferings of others, just as Jesus did upon the cross. And so if you wish to gauge your practice and to see how well it's going, then look no further than your own feelings and emotions of love and compassion for others.